Good evening, everybody and anyone, and welcome to another awesome broadcast of the Overwatch All-Star Brawl number 3. We're back for another one. Hope you guys are ready to go. We had an awesome last match of Old Man Strength versus Team 2. It was fantastic. If you missed it, go back, check the VOD, or check the YouTube channel of Star Esports Live and go watch it later. It was a great match. It was fantastic. But now, after getting through the losers bracket semis, we're here at the winners bracket semis, or maybe even the winners bracket finals, and technically not grand finals. It's going to be a good one, though. Tonight, we've got Dedicated Gaming versus Scion eSports, and it should be a blast. My name is Twess, and as always, I'm joined by the awesome Shy Guy. Can't do it by myself. How are you doing tonight, Shy?
I'm doing so good. After that last match, I'm hyped. I'm ready to go into this one, and I am just so ready to get underway here. This is one I've been waiting on for a while. I mean, I've had this on my calendar for weeks now. I knew this was going to be a fun match, and that's exactly what we're in store for. Scion, dedicated. They've proven themselves so well over the course of this tournament. Now we get to see them go head to head. The only two teams who haven't lost a match yet. And it all comes down to this. The winner on to the grand final. The loser will be headed down to take on Old Man Strength in that lower bracket final.
Yeah, and even that lower bracket final is going to be a fight too, man. As we saw in the last match, Old Man Strength is coming through strong. They had a long fight all the way through the losers bracket after getting taken out in about the second round, but they're there and waiting patiently to see who they're going to be facing off against on Monday. Some interesting information, though, coming out tonight on Scion's side. They're going to have a ringer for their first match, Shy. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit tough for them. I mean, we're in a situation where they're going to be at a bit of a disadvantage to start off this match. It's a really tough place to be in, and it's an inopportune time for something like this to be happening. And I really feel for them, but they're gonna have to try to make do with Infernal in the lineup here tonight. They're not gonna have Duke until perhaps later on in the series. We'll see if he's I'm hopeful he'll be here by map 2, because I think this is a situation where you need all hands on deck. Dedicated is a really tough foe to be going up against, and to do it without your full lineup is not exactly ideal, but Scion gonna have to make do.
Yeah, and if you joined us as a viewer for the last match, Shy, we talked about a couple of times the strength of Old Man Strength. Didn't mean to do that. Of having a depth of their roster where they had a couple subs they could bring in on purpose to do that. When you have a strong team and you feel like you've got a solid six-man lineup, having something like this with a ringer could really potentially throw a wrench in your plans and could really set you off a little bit. So maybe we'll see how it goes. But I think the flip side of that is, if they're having a ringer, and we know it's going to be at least for one game, maybe for two, depending on how long their main player comes in, if they win the first game here, that could be a huge lead in to how the rest of the match is going to go if they're bringing their ringer in and they're still able to pick up a win over dedicated. So I don't know. Should be kind of interesting to see how it goes, at least in the first game. I think the whole match is going to be great. Both these teams, as you said, are just primed and ready to go. Haven't dropped a single match, and I'm ready and raring for this one.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that these are two of the best teams that we have in the tournament. Clearly, two of the best teams that you're going to see anywhere in Tier 3, and to get them going head-to-head here tonight, I think is just going to be so much fun to watch, and I'm just ready to see them go at it, because I'm interested in kind of the battle of styles that we're going to be seeing here tonight. Dedicated thus far in the tournament, from what I've watched, this will be the first game I've gotten to cast them, but they are really one of those teams that's willing to go outside the meta a little bit, especially on these control maps. They're playing the wrecking ball quite a bit. They're willing to do some different stuff when it comes to how they approach this game. It's not just necessarily going to be the mirror match the whole time. So I'm really excited for that aspect of the series.
Yeah. And as we talked about it, we're going to be jumping into game number 1. We're going to Nepal for the very beginning here. We're going to get started off on some control points, do a little bit of back and forth, and see who can manage their ultimate economy, as it seems to come down to that. Quite often are these close, tight-knit games like this on who's going to take it first, who's going to retake it the fastest, and it should be a pretty interesting. What do you think? You said a little bit about comps. Do you expect anything based on the map here that you know from Scion?
Not necessarily. I mean, I don't know exactly what to expect on this map in particular from Scion, but one thing I want to keep an eye out for them throughout the entire match is Supreme on that flex DPS role. Someone who likes to play a lot of Ana, even though that's not necessarily the pick that most teams are going with. It's not going to be a perma pick for them by any means, but something that they have in their back pocket, something that they are very comfortable with, and are able to kind of go outside the box and, catch teams off guard, I would say.
Yeah, and I remember I think the game we casted 2 weeks ago with Scion, Supreme had some insane sleep darts that were just setting up some massive plays. On top of that, Infernal on the Sigma was hitting some of those great accretions following up on the sleep, so they had some just great chain stun. So I agree with you. I think Supreme on Ana was one of the highlights that I remember from Scion that sticks out, at least. That's more than just the norm, but here we are, first match, going for the high ground.
Quite a compositional battle here as Jammer goes down immediately to Cohesion on the Pharah. The rest of the team for Dedicated just making their way to the point, but they're getting, they're already down one member. They're going to be dealing with people coming in from multiple angles. This is a tough spot.
Yeah, and just like that, now they're down another. The respawn is going to be coming in from Jammer, but it's not going to matter too much as the point has been capped, so they were able to hang in there with just a man down, and Zay was able to pick off Supreme there on the Moira. Gets a quick res there from PMA Jellies, so it'll be a 6v6, but we saw Dedicated was the first one to take this point as that timer's going to be going up. It is going to be up to them to stall as long as they can here during this first opening engagement.
Yeah, but now Scion pushing forward. They've lost Cohesion to the Doomfist, but with the Coalescence, they've got a shot.
Yeah, Hopeful going off right now on the Doomfist at that 65% ult charge. They got Jammer in the background with the Moira ult. Can't even speak right now, Shy. The last game was too much fun, and Zay going to clean it up right there. So they get the opening cap. They take it to 35%, and they finally win that fight. Dedicated Gaming comes out swinging.
And this is one of those things that is interesting to me about them. They're one of the few teams still running that Doomfist in Hopeful, showing that even with the recent nerfs, still an incredibly powerful pick.
Yeah, he's getting that old charge up and got a couple of really strong picks there. Task, though, gets a little bit caught off right there. Went up to go be aggressive on the Hammond and gets picked right there by Take Me League. So 6v5 opportunity here for them to push in. Ult's going out everywhere. Take Me League drops the Death Blossom. A great halt to group them all together right there, and a clean full team wipe off of the Supercharger as well. And that's going to let them retake the point. But 64% for Dedicated. It's a big opening push.
Yeah, but that's such a clean combo coming out from the side of Scion. They're so well prepared. The timing is impeccable between the Death Blossom and the Supercharger. They turned that into a fight win, and now they're fighting their way back.
Yep, Cohesion sitting up there trying to rain down damage. Hopeful going to come in with the ultimate. Drops down. He's trying to go after the Reaper, but he decides to back off right there. Doesn't get the pick that he's looking for. As Task trying to swing up and around and try to knock him off the top there. Will take Me League down off the top rope, so going to fall down as the rest of Dedicated will move up here to the high ground. Zay with the Death Blossom, not going to hold on to it very long at all. Gets a pick onto Cohesion. Supreme will go down as well. Both supports are now out for Scion. Oh, a good return here, though, from Infernal and Take Me League working together to take out a couple. Take Me League getting a triple right here. Gets a Death Blossom, but immediately falls down. And it looked just like when Scion was able to turn the tides. Dedicated cleans them up the rest of the way and is able to retake it while still holding the percentage advantage.
It was a valiant effort, but that's ultimately going to be a lot of ultimates committed by the side of Scion as they were trying to fight in there. They find themselves very far down at this point. They used that Death Blossom and the Gravitic Flux Late and got nothing out of it.
Yeah, and the Take Me League was doing more damage just with his left clicks, it seemed, than his Death Blossom. Doesn't matter, though. Cohesion still has the barrage. He's going to take out the Supercharger and two more players. Take Me League doesn't need an ultimate. He's going to take the Doomfist out of it. And as we expected and hoped for, Shy, a back-and-forth battle of the Masters right now. as Scion comes back in swinging and retakes once again. Now they have to hold here. One fight in favor of Dedicated will give them the opening point of this match.
Yes, and no ultimates right now just yet for the defense. That Supercharger might come on the line for Niche, but the attack is already underway for Dedicated.
And Task will have those landmines, might be able to spread out the rest of the team of Scion. He's able to get in there and drop them off. Niche will have the Supercharger up, immediately uses it, however. Jammer going to drop the Coalescence as well as ATT with the defensive Lucio ult right there as well. The sound barrier will be able to come out from Scion to respond here as nobody has gone down so far. They almost got the retake, about 90%. They get pushed off the point, but the Death Blossom from Zay, a little bit of a help from Hopeful, will take 2 of them out, puts them in a 5v4. Make it a 4v4 now as Niche and Take Me League are able to even it up, and they are going to be able to get to that 99% as we go back and forth here. The kill feed is all over the place right now as Zay and Hopeful trying to get in here and get this get this Orisa off the point, but Scion going to be able to hold in. The Coalescence for Supreme going to clean it up, and they are going to officially get it.
Okay, that was so close, going down to the wire. Just a couple members remaining for both teams at the very tail end of that fight. But it's the Coalescence coming out for Scion from Supreme that really gives them the staying power they need to finish off the fight, to take the first round here on Nepal. And you said it before, it's like watching two masters go at it. To me, it's like watching a heavyweight boxing fight right now. Just trading haymakers as neither team really having a definitive edge there on Village. And we're headed to Sanctum, which means those environmental kills could be coming into play. You've got the Pharah for Cohesion, the Wrecking Ball, and the Doomfist for Task. We could see a lot of people going off the edge here.
Look at these picks. We've seen this before from Scion. They're going with the Bastion Baptiste. They're going to set up here on the high ground. Let's see if it works in this finals bracket here instead of in Lucio lower league. Take Me League back here. Gets a knockoff onto Infernal and takes Niche out of it as well. A great opening play by Task. Gets the double kill, and that should give them a huge advantage for this first cap.
Oh, they never saw it coming. They were going out to set up that Bastion into the ideal spot for him, and Task just comes in from behind, never see it happening, and sends them to an early grave and gives an early cap over to the Dedicated.
We saw Old Man Strength with that big Hammond play last game, but now Task going to bring it in now as well for Dedicated. Came all the way out and around, got behind them, broke up that bunker strat, and didn't let him even get set up right there. And now they're kind of pushed back into the corner. This is not where Scion wants to be. They want to be up on that high ground, up on that bridge underneath that safety net. But now they're kind of stuck up here in a corner. Early pickoff from Cohesion and an environmental kill for him as he takes Orisa and Hanzo both out. Niche is going to follow up right there, and this should be a clean retake. A little bit of help from the Immortality field. Some delay coming out from Hopeful. Gets a pickoff onto the Mercy, but not going to be enough. Now Scion has the opportunity to set up on the point and get where they want to in position.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm wondering where they're going to sit back. They're trying to get Take Me League into a position where the boops, not really a possibility for Task. Those environmental kills not going to be as much of a factor at this point. He's still in the area kind of looking for that. As goes for it, but it is going to be a bit of a tough situation for him.
Drops the landmines right on top of him, though. Massive damage coming out. 4 kills for the side of Dedicated. Take Me League takes out the Reaper on his way down, but it's not going to be enough. They didn't get the environmental kills that he wanted, but they did get enough disruption and a massive landmine drop that he's able to do. Pumps out tons of damage right there, and the rest of his team just cleans up.
Yeah, who needs environmental kills when you got those mines? Setting it right on top of that bunker from Scion, who now are changing things up. They've had enough of trying that. They're going back to kind of the standard look here with that Reaper May DPS duo, and they cut off Hopeful. He can't retreat. The opening pick is theirs.
That was a great wall right there from Cohesion, immediately making work of the May. Jelly's going to take out Cersei as well. That'll give them a 2-man advantage right here. A little bit of a knock as Cohesion will go get knocked off the edge, but it shouldn't be too much of a same. It's going to be up to Moira on Jammer. Not going to last long. Hopeful going to see what he can do right here to delay as long as possible, but it should be a retake from Scion, and there they go. But 80%, will it be? Yes, officially 80% for Dedicated. A great opening start from them as they are doubling the percentage of Scion.
And they forced out the supercharger late in that fight just to deal with the cleanup. That's a huge ultimate gone for the side of Scion as they look to close out Nepal with this defense, but a long road ahead.
Here comes the supercharger from Cersei. Zay sitting over in the side, getting it with that Hanzo. Will be able to take out Take Me League right off the start. Hopeful gets very close to going down, but will be able to survive a good sound barrier from ATT to get him safe right there. Zay sitting over here just laying in tons of damage, takes Cohesion out of the fight as well. Niche will go down, and the cleanup will be there. ATT trying to pick off Supreme in the background, a little battle of support, but Dedicated takes it back, still holds the percentage lead, and they did not have an answer right there for Zay. Zay earned himself a full ultimate charge, just sat back there with the supercharger and just racked in arrows.
Absolutely, but now an opportunity for Scion to get back in here and retake once again. Really not a lot of ultimates on either side. That sound barrier needs to be big for PMA.
Yep, the Dragon Strike will come out, but they were just pushed up too far ahead. It was just a little bit late. Hopeful gets the first pick. A nice knockoff by the Lucio on the side of Dedicated. Will take Infernal out, and that should rack him up. 3 kills down. Going to see if they can delay a little bit. Niche with the Fortify, trying to survive. Doomfist going to come down and break him in, though. Nice little pickup there by PMA Jellies. Gets an environmental kill onto the Hammond. Don't think that's going to be enough. The respawns are coming in, but they're not there in time. Dedicated ties it back up 1-1.
Okay, and they come up huge with 2 environmental kills in that final fight before the sound barrier even gets off. You know, once they're down, Scion has no chance of fighting that one back. They just didn't have the power, the kill potential to turn that fight around, and it results in a 1-1 scoreline here on Nepal. It's all going to come down to this as we head over to Shrine.
I'm getting anxious, Shy. I'm sitting here bouncing, man. I got a lot of energy right now. 1-1 finals, winners bracket. Get in here right now. This is awesome to watch, and I'm having such a... But, man, what a great response right there from Dedicated. They were not going down without a fight, tying it back up and not giving up the fast 2-0. Cohesion going to be back on this Pharah again, and this got a lot of open air.
Yes, but now Zay on the McCree here as an attempt to put some more pressure onto Cohesion, not give the far out free reign. Task gets hit by the accretion and dealt with so fast.
Tried to get in there and bounce him, separate him up there like the Hammonds do, but you're right, Infernal just absolutely nailed him with the rock, stunned him out, and he just fell too much. Zay doing his job right there, taking Cohesion out of the sky. Task getting a knockoff right there on the Supreme. Are they going to stay in this fight somehow? Task is already up here and respawn, but no, Scion will be able to retake. Zay going to be able to take out Niche as well, though. So now if Dedicated can get respawned and push back up here, they're going to have a 2-man advantage for a few more seconds. Infernal gets an accretion kill onto Zay, evens it back up just a bit. They're going to kind of reset the fight here a little bit.
Task just saved with that boost. Knocks Take Me League off the map, allows the res to come in, and Dedicated are going to be able to turn that into a huge fight win.
That was just good patience from Dedicated. They just kept in that fight the whole time. Zay is doing work right now on this McCree. Almost has the High Noon up. Hopeful as well. Almost has the Doomfist ult up. So they got a lot of ults on their side of the field for Dedicated, and Zay doing a good job taking out a lot of key players in that fight. Oh!
Ooh, Cohesion, though, the res will be there, and the High Noon holds them off, and even gonna be able to take out Cohesion afterwards.
Oh, a quick res, though, from Jelly. He's gonna get Cohesion up, but he's gonna pay for it with his life. Hopeful knew it was coming. Got back there during the res, and Zay cleaning up the rest of this fight, looking so strong. A hero that we have not seen very often. McCree slaying out right.
And he's back to 70% on this High Noon.
Just popped it.
The ults are just flowing like water right now for the Dedicated. They're gonna have 5 by the time this fight really gets going, and they've got this point on lockdown.
Yeah, they're looking very good right now. It's kind of interesting that they had a little bit of struggles in the first point here, and these last 2 have looked like they're just ready to rock the whole time. Meteor Strike coming out, landmines as well from Task going to go off. Lots of damage getting put up. Gets taken out the first 2 right there, as Orisa and Lucio will both fall. Zay still doing work on the McCree, takes out the Infernal, and Hopeful going to take out the counter Doomfist. And that should give them this fight as well. One more opportunity for Scion to stay in this.
And it's all gonna come down to this fight, but they are in such a strange position at this point. They have to be somewhat cautious with their ultimate. You can't blow everything because you've got to hold to 100%.
Task was up on the roof. He's trying to get behind him and cause a distraction, but unfortunately, Hopeful was back there as well. Will get taken down. The Death Blossom from Take Me League gonna seal it out, and the retake that Scion needed will be able to happen here. Task can delay as long as possible, but it won't last and be able to recapture right at 99%, however.
Okay, well, don't mind me. Everybody just press Q on the side of Scion there. Niche holds on to the supercharger, but at the very least, Dedicated committed a lot to that fight as well. The Valkyrie as well as the High Noon coming out, so they aren't exactly loaded as they look to make this retake.
Yep. Task doing a really good job on this Hammond. He's really getting around from the side, coming in from interesting angles and trying to find all these players hiding back there. That time he took out Take Me League. The supercharger, though, coming out from Niche, and it's going to be a hard fight for Dedicated to take. I don't even know if they want to go in. They need to wait for the supercharger to fall down. It does finally. Hopeful takes out Take Me League right afterwards, however, and a great res coming out from APT to even the fight back up. It's a 65 in favor of Dedicated. Task in the background trying to cause havoc. Zay and Hopeful raining down damage. They get a double kill. Jammer going to pull out the Coalescence, and Hopeful bringing in the Meteor Strike to clean this one up. They should be able to get this, and this should be a one fight on Nepal for Dedicated Gaming. They're going to come out 1-0 in this first match.
Indeed they are, and they show us what their composition choices can do here on Nepal. The Wrecking Ball was such a menace. It was creating so much space for the rest of the team to operate in. Task was getting environmental kills left, right, and center, just knocking people around and giving room for Zay, especially on this last point, to just pop off. It was unreal what this dude was able to do on McCree. 66% kill participation for Zay in that map.
43 eliminations as well, man. Pop off indeed. He was going. I think we only saw one misstep from Task, and I don't even know if I'd call it a misstep from Task. It was just a great play by Scion to get that one accretion stun that we saw on him, get the pick off, and that was able to get them a fight. I think Scion's really going to have to start capitalizing on that. If Task overextends just a little bit on the Wrecking Ball, they're going to have to respond immediately, focus him down, and take him out of the fight, because that was handedly, at least in that last one, I feel like Dedicated just had that in their ball and their court the whole time right there. And this is coming from a team, Shy. Me and you have casted Scion a couple times. They've been slaying in this bracket. I mean, almost uncontested, it seems like. Scion has been just popping, and Dedicated comes out right there and gets them a nice 2-1.
I mean, and I came into this kind of thinking that Dedicated might have a slight edge when we started this out. If you just look at the level of kind of competition that they've faced up to this point, their run to this point in the tournament has been so challenging. Taking down, they beat Mist, they beat Old Man Strength, who are now waiting in the lower bracket final. They have had a really impressive run to this point, so I would have had them as a slight favorite, but this has still been incredibly close so far, and Scion are not out of it by any means.
Yep. And while we're in the picking and banning phase, it looks like Dedicated Gaming is going to ban out Anubis, so they don't want to go to Egypt right now. We'll see what Scion decides to pick up for their next hybrid map. And we are Shy going back to Kings Row, heading to London. Once again, pack your bags. Oh, I can't wait to see this. We talked about it last match. If the viewers were here last time, Shy, I think me and you are both in agreement. Kings Row, just an awesome, awesome map. And what an awesome match and a good set of teams here to take it to take it over there to that map as well here.
And I do like the pick from Scion, because it gets to disrupt a little bit of what Dedicated was doing with Task on that Wrecking Ball. Not going to be nearly as strong of a pick on Kings Row as it was there on the control map of Nepal. So an opportunity to switch things up a little bit here. Still, though, they're going to have a lot of threats to deal with on the side of Dedicated. They're still running that Doomfist, so well with Hopeful, and that is going to excel here on the close confines of Kings Row.
Yeah, I was a little bit interested that Dedicated decided to ban Anubis, because I feel like the way Task has been playing, it'd be a really good bunker buster to get into those on attack, at least on Anubis to take it. So it's kind of interesting to see him ban it out. I'm curious to see if you're correct on this one. Scion, I think, will have a little bit of advantage, at least from what we've seen in these compositions coming into Kings Row. And it's also kind of interesting to see, you mentioned it a little bit during the game, but as we have a little bit of break here, that Hopeful still running the Doomfist and not really slowing down at all. I mean, making big work, even with a little bit of the changes that we've seen recently.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, yes, he got some nerfs that make his survivability go down a little bit. He's a little bit slower on the rocket punch. But when you are firing on all cylinders, you're landing those cooldowns, he's still such a huge threat, and the one-shot potential alone from that rocket punch is still, I think, kind of an undervalued thing for a lot of teams. And he's finding unique angles and really powerful positions to make this Doomfist really effective.
And I think we'll try to remember to remind viewers at home a little bit here that there is still a MVP poll underneath the Twitch stream as we get in here to game 2. So make sure to keep your eyes on who you think should be earning that one. The viewer MVP, right? We got a break in the action. Get down there underneath and cast your vote so we can give some awesome shout outs at the end of this match. The other thing I'll say about just going back to the Hopeful on Doomfist discussion is that it's off the back of Task, I think, on the Hammond, being able to separate people out. You're talking about the one-shot potential. It's hard to one-shot if you're in a group of 4 or 5, but if Task can get in there and separate him, man, he gets in there and just picks off those squishies in the background, and boom, 64 on your favor.
That, and something that I think is kind of overlooked in that combo is that the knockup from the slam for Wrecking Ball is such a good setup for those rocket punches. It locks you in position. You know when that hero is going to land down to the ground, and Hopeful can time that perfectly to set up for pretty easy kills at times.
Yeah, and as we get into the hero picks here, even on defense, they are feeling good enough with the Hammond. I expected it on offense just for some disruption, but Task is feeling very confident running the Hammond even on defense. What are your thoughts on?
Well, this is just a team that is supremely confident in their style right now, and they're not going to compromise that for anyone or on any map, it seems like. So if you are Scion, now you have to be the one to kind of be making adjustments, and they're going to run out with the Sombra for Cohesion. This is an interesting look and a good response in my mind to the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, Cohesion in the background and tries to get the hack off and does get a little bit there. Almost goes down, but is able to teleport back. Gets out of there safely. Task already getting in there on the Hammond, doing a good job at knocking him back off the point. Hopeful, look at this, trying to peek around the corner. He's looking for those pickoffs. Wasn't able to find it there. It's going to be Infernal opening up the Bloodlust for this one. Take Zay out of the fight, so the Hanzo damage will be down. It's going to be a 65 in favor of the offense here. Not able to find any more kills yet. Task is still kind of running around, causing a little bit of havoc. Hopeful will go down this time, though. First, under the hands of Supreme. The offense trying to push into this checkpoint here.
Ooh, the Coalescence committed by Jammer, a bit over enthusiastic there. He goes down before he gets anything done, and that's just going to be an easy point A take for Scion.
Yeah, and Task even was able to earn the ultimate on Hammond and drop him. It didn't happen to make any difference there, but I mean, still props to him for getting it done so fast. He got the ultimate before that pipe was even taken. It, unfortunately for them, did not work out as they get that point taken. And I love teams that do this. This great push out from Scion. After they take the point, you just leave a nice little support back on the payload. You push up here and you get your foothold in this alleyway right now.
Oh, and now they get to set up for this next fight. Cohesion going to be approaching that EMP with just a little bit more poke damage. He'll be able to lay it in, but can Dedicated come in and take a fight before that happens?
Yeah, why you say that? Cohesion got the poke damage he's looking for. A huge Death Blossom from Take Me League, though. Out of nowhere, gets the triple. The hack came in, just great timing right there, and shut him down. Cohesion now has the EMP ready as well. Coalescence and the Supercharger all ready to go for this offense.
No, and nothing available for the side of Scion at this point, or sorry, of Dedicated at this point. Cersei and 8 going to be able to build up to those ultimates before this fight starts, but still, the EMP and the Supercharger probably enough to close this one out.
Yeah, gonna have the Gravitic Flux up as well from Infernal. The only response gonna be a Supercharger and a Sound Barrier of their own. The Flux will come out. The Coalescence comes out for Supreme. Supercharger will go down on the side of the defense, but it doesn't matter. They get EMP'd out immediately, and they're gonna walk right over them. Scion eSports making that point cap look easy as a huge EMP comes out, and they just mop the floor with Dedicated.
Oh, and he cancels out the sound barrier from at. It just completely nullifies that ultimate. Just a massive play from Cohesion to finish it off. And they are storming through King's Row.
Yeah, they're not slowing down at all. Still 5 minutes on the timer right now, coming into the last hard choke point. Supercharger will go out for the side of the offense this time. Nitch going to drop his. PMA Jelly's got the defensive out as well with the sound barrier. ATT in the background has been hacked by Cohesion, but not able to go down. Jammer extremely low on HP. Still hasn't been able to take out this fight yet somehow. Infernal will pick up a double right there, though, on the Sigma. Zay going to try to come in and do what he can with the Death Blossom, but Infernal was there to block it on the Sigma, and they're just still running through here. What is going on? Scion eSports is just finding their stride, and they are not slowing down.
They have woken up, and they're not going to have to slow down. We're coming into another fight. They'll have the EMP yet again to close this out. The Coalescence, the Death Blossom as well. This could be over very quickly.
Yeah, the potential desperation right now coming out. Zay immediately swapping over to the Bastion as well, trying to set up in this back line, just laying some big damage. But it's not going to matter because Cohesion's going to come in with the EMP. We have to find some tracks on this. Task actually gets the response onto Cohesion, takes Sombra out of the game. Blizzard will come down as well on defense, but the damage may have been done. Cersei going to be there with the Fortify, not scared about it at all. And still a 4v2 on this point. Cersei trying to hold in. A little bit too late on the sound barrier, however, though. Only picks up on Lucio and Moira. Task trying to do what he can on the delay. Coalescence will come out from Jammer, and it looks like maybe the defense will be able to stick it in here. A couple pickups right there, and that should knock the offense off the point with only 2 meters remaining.
Oh, that was almost disaster for the Dedicated in that fight. If that payload reaches the end, they have dug themselves such a massive hole, but they buy just enough time. Zay gets back out on the Bastion, and they do save it here, but now they've got to settle in for this defense, and Task already down.
They tried to teleport up to the top with the Orisa and the Bastion and the Supercharger up there, but they get off the pole. They're not even there in time, and they walk all the way through. Easy take, unfortunate for Dedicated. They were trying to get set up on the top point there with the Symmetra teleport, but the Mei was there on the offense, disrupted them. They didn't know how to respond, and the checkpoint just walks right in.
It's a good idea in theory to get the Bastion up on that high ground. He's going to be such a menace. I mean, it calls to mind like the Bastion on the Chandelier of Eichenwald in the Overwatch League Grand Finals. It's such a power position to have, but they're rotating up there quite late. It looked like a kind of spur of the moment decision to break out the Symmetra. Then they get locked up by the Gravitic Flux, and no one able to make it to the point to stall out. And the decision was, it was smart, but it comes back to bite them.
Yeah, it was just a little bit too late, too. I mean, if they were there even 5 seconds before, I think they'd have been in a better position. But, hey, shout-outs as well to, I think, who was it? Was it Cohesion on the Mei that came in for the offense? I mean, they had a great Mei wall to disrupt that top setup right there. And that's kind of what I think threw him off, and the Bastion wasn't able to put the damage from the high ground like he wanted.
Absolutely. Just so smartly played all the way through that map. From Scion, they come out with the Sombra, and it completely kind of takes over the game a little bit.
Yeah.
Those EMPs were massive, and the ability to disrupt Task and the chaos he's created is just massive.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Hopeful in a scary situation. Immediately got accretioned off the point by Infernal. Hit a great rock throw right there. I thought he was going down, but able to get healed back up. Cohesion trying to do a little bit of harassment in the back. Takes Cersei down to about half life on the Orisa. Task trying to do the same thing on the Hammond. Scion holding their ground on the point here on deep. Oh, a great grab. Hopeful will take advantage. Takes PMA Jellies out of the fight right here. Takes Take Me League out as well. Cersei going to get a pickup, and it's going to be a 3v5. Is the offense on the side of Dedicated going to try to push in here, and they are going to clean it up. So a good opening push from Dedicated. They are responding very well after we saw Scion's amazing offense.
Yeah, and there you see the downside of the Sombra right there. It's the inability to team fight as well when you don't get those key hacks, when you don't have the EMP available. Cohesion doesn't contribute a lot to the frontline battle, and they just kind of get bullied by Hopeful, who goes off on the Doomfist.
Yeah, Hopeful was all over it on that one. Jammer gonna have the Coalescence up. Hopeful almost has the Meteor Strike up as well. And the Gravitic Flux is gonna be up for Infernal. Both the Coalescences will come out. It's a mad fight here in the middle. Hopeful gonna be the one to open this up though. Takes the Reaper out of the fight. A great pickoff right there to give Dedicated the Flux will come out from Infernal. He's about to go down. He will fall. The trade's still back and forth, but the whole time Cersei and Task have been alternating back here on the payload. The payload has been moving, but very slowly.
Yeah, Cohesion has been buying so much time on the Sombra. Has been doing his best to chase him down and find this fight. He eventually will fall to Hopeful, but he does his job. He harasses, he buys time, but they need more than that. They need fight wins right now.
Yeah, and it's going to be scary. They're going to have 6 ultimates up here very soon for the side of Dedicated. The landmines will go out. They decide they're going to take this early. Hopeful with the Meteor Strikes going to come in, try to clean up. Jammer going to be the first one on the board with the Coalescence. Hopeful will take out Infernal. Niche will go down as well for the side of Scion, and that should let them push this payload quite far. It might have been just a little bit too early. Is Scion going to be able to get here and defend this in time?
I don't think they should try to fight this. Cohesion is there and even might have the EMP. They're going to go for it right now, but Supreme already falls. The punch takes Take Me Lee off the cart, and there's no chance.
Oh, and Supreme tried to go in aggressively, tried to pop the Coalescence to stay alive, but it didn't matter. So back to 0%. A quick ult for reach, but it is going to cost them a little bit. There's still a couple ults on both teams, ripping and ready and raring. If I get some R's out of here, Shy. Ready to go.
Yeah, but taking that fight means that there's no defense just yet. So this payload getting so much distance just off that kind of last second hasty engage from Scion.
Yeah, the EMP will go out. Big opportunity now for the defense on Scion. The Death Blossom will follow. Take Me League didn't really get on the kill feed there, but the damage is done as it's all flood red right there. And the payload finally seems like it slowed down after an almost non-stop movement since the beginning of that alleyway.
No, I mean, the offensive has kind of mirrored each other so far on this map. Both teams just going straight through the defense like paper at this point. And now finally a stop comes in for Scion. They get to settle into the defense, but they're already facing this Supercharger.
Yep, Supercharger is dropped. Niche is going to have his up here soon, too. See if he drops it, he will. So both of them will be out now. Who's going to go down first? Tons of damage getting laid out all over the board. Looks like it is going to be in favor of Dedicated Gaming as they're going to keep their offense up. The only kill on side of Scion is going to be for Infernal as Reaper will go down. Take Me League going to fall as well. The payload still moving in at a much quicker time. If they could steal this out right now, that would be massive for Dedicated. Landmines will come out from Task. They're trying to come in. Niche and Infernal trying to delay what they can. They're going to get picked off one after another. Task going to knock them off the point. 1.5 meters.
All right, they've bought a little bit of time here and eventually will step off the point. Niche just having to back off, give up ground, and they can't hang on for very long. It was an excellent attack from Scion, but the Dedicated, they come out and they do them one better. They finish with about 30 seconds more on the clock. So really impressive showings from both teams on the attack.
And that all comes down to Scion's last offensive push at the end there where they got stopped and they had to kind of reset and get regrouped. That's the 30 seconds. So Scion got stopped at the very end and Dedicated did not. They went straight through all the way to the end. And that 30-second difference is one fight. I mean, this is such a close game, and that was such a fast offense to see on Kings Row from both sides.
No, absolutely. And the difference there for me, at least on the side of Scion, is that Cohesion really wasn't getting a lot of value out of the Sombra on the defense. The vanilla hacks weren't setting them up for easy picks. He only used one EMP during that defensive attempt, and it does get them one fight win, but that's not enough. They need to be doing more, and your first EMP can't come on point C. Right.
It worked really good for them on the offense where they were able to work together with their ultimates, use it with that EMP effectively to push through the setup defense of Dedicated. I don't know if it works on defense nearly as strong. I was hoping for a Widow pick there. Didn't get to see it, unfortunately, Shy.
Yeah, we are going to get to see the Pharah pick, and they're already finding pay dirt. At goes down really early. They catch him off. Cohesion will fall, but still the advantage for Scion.
Yeah, Take Me League picks up another one. Hopeful did a great job at chasing the Pharah down. He'll finally fall right there, but it was a good attempt from Hopeful to get all the way back there. Immediately, Cohesion is going to swap onto the Doomfist himself, however, as the offense handedly, a battle of the offenses. Nobody's slowing down at all, and they will cap that one easily. 2.5 minutes still on the board.
I'm on fire.
And now that's exactly what Scion needs as they try to kind of turn this one around. They were at a disadvantage, and now Cohesion going over the Bastion. They're going to set up the pirate ship.
Oh, baby. Here we go. Pirate ship inbound. You love to see it. The Immortality Field is down, but it will get taken out immediately. Doesn't matter, though, as the Bastion's going to get a triple kill. Don't even need to feed him a supercharger. They walk right into the end of his barrel, and he shoves it down their throats right there. A clean team wipe for Scion.
That was such a split-second difference right there. If the fight comes a little bit earlier for the dedicated, maybe they can catch Cohesion off guard. But as it was, he got set up. He had the Immortality Field to keep him alive a little bit longer, and just mows through them as they try to pile in.
This is looking really good once again for Scion. A great flank here, though, coming out from dedicated. Can they make anything happen of it? The Immortality Field is down. It's still not taken out yet, as Scion taking full advantage of it. They've got 2 players already taken out for the side of dedicated gaming. Cohesion will make it a third on that Bastion, and they're just going to wipe up right there. A big flank from dedicated, a big chance. I like their thought process. It just did not work out for him. Scion cleans them off the board once again. 60 seconds left.
They had such a good thought there to come in with the May wall to try to separate the members of Scion, but in reality, it just meant that the Immortality Field, it never died.
Right.
It was right next to the wall.
Yeah, it was bad placement, unfortunately. In the end, it didn't work out for him because, yeah, it was kind of a defensive shield for the Immortality Field up once again. The window will be up as well. Both the Death Blossoms will come out. They'll trade just a little bit, but the Bastion going to be in tank mode, gets the double, and it should be in favor of the offense slightly as the payload's still going forward, but Zay going to clean it up right there. And going to take out most of the team as they just keep consistently falling.
Yeah, you've just got to be a little bit more patient there, Scion. Cohesion, he drops off the high ground thinking he might be able to get something done, get one more kill with the tank mode, but it's a bit too greedy. He comes out of it, and Zay deletes him. Without that damage, Scion kind of falls apart. And now they're just going to have to race back to point.
They got to get on it right now. They are going to make it in time. It's going to be down to an overtime push. Can they capture the second point? This would be absolutely huge. The double kill already coming out, though, in favor of dedicated. Lucio will drop the sound barrier as well. Cersei's got that supercharger sitting in the background, just powering up Hopeful over here on the May. Going to get the double kill. Take Me League does take Cersei out of the fight, but it's not going to be enough. Death Blossom seals it out. That's going to be it. 3 points on the board, 3.5 minutes to get here for Scion.
Okay, this is kind of the middle ground here when it comes to these attacks. It wasn't far enough for me to say that Scion have a huge advantage here, but that's not necessarily easy to get to. It's really going to come down to how much time does this point A attack take.
Yeah, I think this will be massive. I think if we get a 1 fight clear here from the offense pushing into this point A, I think that is a lot of room to make up on defense. I think you got to win at least a couple fights here on your first opening defensive hold. If you don't, they got a lot of time on the board to get not too far down King.
No, it's going to need to be a pretty strong effort here from Scion. 3.5 minutes is a long time on King's Row. The lucky point, no time really will be added after point A, so that's all that you have to defend here. But still,
you have to defend. That's it. Just
3.5 minutes.
Right. No big deal. I like this, though. Jammer swapping it up a little bit, looking like they're going to have the Ana. Could just be for the very opening here, maybe trying to get a cheeky sleep dart out of the window. Looks like they are going to hold on to it for at least a moment. See what comes out of that. Some big sleeps could be huge here. Cohesion was doing a little bit of peeking out around the corner on the Doomfist, but he decides to go back. Fight will come in. Task trying to get in there and disrupt as always on that Hammond. Hopeful trying to get in here and take Sigma out of the fight. Does get him out with the help of Jammer. So the opening kill will go in favor of Dedicated, but Cohesion immediately respawns and takes the Reaper out of the fight. Defense is going to have to find their footing here and hold on.
Okay, it's even right now. Cohesion, he's gotten onto the supports, doesn't find Pater, but gets out. Take Me League, though, falls to Cersei, and now they start coming in one by one. The Dedicated finding the kills.
Yep, the quick respawn coming out for Dedicated. They were even 5v5, but the immediate respawn came in. They went up a player 6v5. That gave them enough advantage, and then the dominoes tumbled after. A fast take. We talked about it. They needed to hold that out for a fight at least, maybe two. And they lose it on the first one here. 2.5 minutes to make this payload, not even all the way to the second checkpoint.
Yeah, that's trouble for Scion here, because now this choke is going to be, this is it. They need to hold the payload here, and they're starting off with coalescences on both sides.
Yeah, Battle of the Coalescences, the Ghostbusters crossing the streams, hopefully dropping a meteor strike, gonna take Cohesion out of here. That could be huge right now. Supercharger will get dropped from the side of Scion, trying to lay in some damage. Take Me League takes them out, and it looks like they are going to be able to stab them off for just a little bit. The payload's still just creeping forward, but the offense will decide to back up and regroup.
Yeah, but they look like they might be ready to come back in, especially with that sound barrier committed. They're surging forward. Zay going for the Death Blossom. Can he find anything? No!
Yeah, nothing going to come of it. The response now going to come out from Take Me League. Can he find anything? Takes the Supercharger out, but nothing else. The landmines will come down from Task, just trying to clear them off the payload. But they're really doing a pretty good job here on defense. All they have to do is stall. 1.5 minutes left, as we've already lost the first 60 seconds of this push. I don't believe they're even half offense, starting to clean it up just a little bit here. Response from Hammond.
Now this is going to be Scion holding on after a scrappy back and forth fight that never really seemed to end at any point. They will hold on for now, but it's good. We're going to be right back into it as Cersei and Hopeful. They regain control of the cart. They'll get a little bit of movement, and now we're kind of in one fight territory.
Yeah, maybe two if it's an extremely fast fight, but with how long we've seen these fights get drawn out, I would doubt it. So I would agree with you, Shy. One fight. Zay and Task off to the side. Zay's got to be careful. That Wraith form better not wear off. It does too fast. They chase him down. Zay will be out of this. A huge opportunity now for the defense to hold on here on the side of Scion. Meteor Strike will come out from Cohesion as they're pushing them back. And this is, they're deciding they're going to try to back up. They want to regroup. They want another chance at this, but they're not going to let them have it. Scion chasing them all the way back home.
Okay, that was the right call from the side of the Dedicated to back off there, and they'll still be able to regroup in time to get another push. It's not going to be perfect, but Scion doing such a good job of chasing it down. They get at there.
That's a huge pick. What a
bit ahead of
stagger.
himself there. Thought he was going to need to go in for the overtime touch, but a bit too far out in front. It's going to be Task to trigger the overtime.
Yep, the ult will come down. Landmines right on top of the payload. Big opening pick on the Cohesion, so a lot of Scion's damage will be taken out. Hopeful trying to get the Meteor Strike off as well. The Supercharger will come down, but it gets taken out of the fight very quickly. A good pick off there to clean that up. Big Death Blossom for Take Me League. He's not actually going to find anything. He got booped up and out of the air, so he wasn't able to. The Overtimer has taken off now. It's all up to Dedicated to stay on this point. Another Death Blossom response from Zay, as the kills are going back and forth with combination of that Supercharger. Somehow Scion still holding on to this defense. Zay getting it right up in their face, though.
But that's it. It's over. Zay, just the cleanup crew here on the Reaper pulls out the Death Blossom, backed up by the Supercharger, and that's enough to push them over the finish line. Scion put up such a good fight there. They almost had it. It was so close, but it just falls apart at the end.
I really feel like that was a big deciding factor of that, was that Dedicated Gaming picked offense and they went attack first. So they went defense first, excuse me. So they got to attack at the end there. They knew the exact distance that they needed to go, and they played that so well. You talked about it. It was the right call. When they went to that fight, they lost Zay right at the beginning of that fight, and they immediately decided to back up. And props to Scion. They chased him down. They did really good at getting those stagger kills, but Dedicated just backed up enough. They said, guys, we got 40 seconds. Back off. We're going to take this fight. We know where we need to get to, and they just performed exquisitely there to push into that.
And it almost ends in disaster there for Dedicated and for At specifically. Goes down before that final fight kicks off. He got the sound barrier towards the tail end of it, but if they had lost that fight, that could have been the turning point. So we'll just have to see if Scion can rally back in this series. They find themselves down 2-0, and they've got a mountain to climb now.
Yep. And it's going to be rough. And this might be part of what we talked about earlier, Shy. It's just a little bit unfortunate that Scion doesn't have their full roster here tonight. And it's just a sad, unfortunate fact that that's sometimes how it goes. And maybe they'd feel like they'd have a little bit better shot going on to it. It's just so close back and forth. But while we've got a little bit of mid-match intermission here, though, Shy, I want to make sure we get a big shout-out. We got another Twitch Prime tonight. Car Fixer, the Lucio player from earlier in the night, coming out, getting the Twitch Prime. Shout-outs to Car Fixer. Good time also to anybody that hasn't been to the channel before. If you guys are liking the broadcast, do a lot of Tier 3 Overwatch tournaments here. Make sure you check out that follow button. If you do want to support the Star Esports organization, you can also throw in a sub, maybe some bits, maybe come check out the Discord, get your team involved in the action in the future as well. Awesome way to support them. And thank you once again to Car Fixer, awesome Lucio player, dropping that Twitch Prime.
Yeah, feeling generous after the victory here tonight and tuning in to see who his team going to be taking on in that lower bracket final. Right now, looking likely to be Scion unless they can pull off the reverse sweep.
Yeah, and the reverse sweep could be a potential, man. I think if any team would be able to do it, it would be one of these two teams, regardless of what situation we are in right now. But as it happens to stand, Dedicated is the one that is up. And just like that, Shy, they delay long enough. Scion picks up their real player. The ringer is out. Cowman is in, and their full roster now. Now it is going to be a big, big opportunity for them. Got to put their money where their mouth is. See if they can step up.
Yeah, the reinforcements arrive right when they need them most at this point. So we'll see if Cowman can be the soldier who turns the tide of the battle here. It's been going Dedicated's way all night. Just, by a fraction, so much. Small amount. The difference between these teams is minuscule, but I still think it's going to be hard, even with their full lineup here, to get 3 in a row off of the Dedicated with how well they're playing right now. That is a tough ask. Yeah, it's a long road ahead of them, but we'll see. Maybe it would be an astounding thing, and I think that would really show. If let's just theorize for a minute, if we see the reverse sweep, that would be an amazingly just pinpoint precision reason to show how strong a comp is together and how much of a difference it can make. Even just one little chink in the chain. If they had a 5-man versus a 6-man full comp with their ringer, I would love to see a reverse sweep. Don't yell at me, Dedicated. I'm sorry. You guys can pull this off, but as a caster, as a spectator, as an enjoyer of Overwatch, the reverse sweep is just one of the greatest things. Yeah, and it would be such a beautiful story here for Scion to do that right now, to get into the upper bracket, or to the grand final rather. It would just be to do that on kind of the big stage here in the pressure packed moments. That is what, that's the reason that we're all here. That's why we love Tier 3 Overwatch and stuff like that is possible. Scion with, a strong showing so far, now perhaps about to get even stronger with Cowman back.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. Got the next map pick on the underway. Looks like Dedicated actually banned out Voskaya, so they didn't want to see that. That means Scion going to go ahead and pick Watchpoint Gibraltar, so full payload map, no hybrid this time. And so you have to push it all the way.
And I'm not going to lie, I haven't seen either of these teams play on this map. I have not seen this map in quite a while, it seems like. It feels like so many of the series throughout this tournament have gone control map, Kings Row, control map as the 3 that we get. So I am excited to see Gibraltar and what that might mean for these teams, how they want to approach this map. It plays very differently than Kings Row. The high ground and the elevation, much more impactful on a map like this.
Yeah, and I think the offense-defense run back is even longer than it is on Kings Row because of that first capture point, at least on the hybrid maps. So the run back is going to swap halfway through. It's not like a quick flip where one side has the advantage and the other one has. It's just going to slowly change from offense to defense on the terms of that respawn as you go. And we saw it was Scion, right, that ran the pirate ship on offense.
It was indeed.
I'm curious if we'll see that coming out on offense for them as well. And maybe we saw them try to set up with the Bastion earlier on that last point, but they got obviously ice walled off. Now setting up on defense, I'm curious if they'll bring a Bastion out to set up like a strong wall at the very beginning of this map or not.
It's definitely in play. I mean, we've seen teams run Bastion on this map to great success. I mean, if you think back to the Owl Grand Final, San Francisco Shark dominated with the Bastion here on Gibraltar. It can be incredibly powerful if you've got your rotations on point and you know where you kind of the locations that you want to set up. It's such a power pick at times like this, but I don't think it seems to be the first choice for either of these teams. For Scion, they brought it out at the tail end of a defense, and in an attempt to set up a pirate ship, they haven't started off with it at all. So we'll just have to see if it's something that's really a big part of their playbook.
Right. Doesn't look like Dedicated is going to run the defensive Bastion, at least. They're going to go with more of their standard. They've been running Scion Hanzo a lot. Hopeful still coming in here with that Doomfist, and Task still going to be on his trusty little hamster. So they're running a pretty standard lineup here. I do see ATT going onto the Mercy, however. So looking for those respawns, or the revives. Don't want that long run back on Cohesion, though. Back on the Pharah for the side of Scion.
And what will he be able to get done, putting some pressure on the back line of the Dedicated as he's taking the fight up against Hopeful right now, who will have to back off a little bit.
This fight is just all over the place, Shine. Nobody grouped up. We've got Hopeful back here trying to take out Cohesion all the way in the background. We haul Task. I didn't even notice until just a second ago. Kalman, the one coming in after the ringer swaps out, is going to be on the hog. Zay is going to be the first one to pop off, though. Takes the pharmacy out, both of them, as they will go down, and that just opens a huge door for Hopeful to get the nice triple, and that is going to stop the offensive push on the spot.
Okay, very solid first take there for the side of the Dedicated as they hold on. Scion now regrouping and ready to come back into this fight, but they didn't do a whole lot of damage across the first one. They don't have any ultimates coming really other than that nano boost potentially for Supreme, who's on his trusty Ana.
Yep, Dragon Strike comes out, but not going to have anything happen. Ana going to have that nano boost up soon. Kalman going to get a great pick, though, onto the Mercy. You can't res yourself. 6v5 now in favor of the offense. There's the nano boost. It has come out onto Kalman on the hog. He's got to take advantage of it, but in the background, Zay is going to take the Pharah out, and Jammer's going to take out Nitch. Going to immediately get picked back up, though. Payload has not moved an inch yet, Shy, since it got stopped in the last fight. It does look like defense is finally going to have to back off just enough. But Zay, what is happening, man? Slow down.
He takes the 2v1 versus Supreme and Take Me League and shuts them down. That's going to be plenty for the Dedicated to re-engage here. They trade Hopeful for Kalman, but the res going to bring them back to full strength.
Zay is just going off right now on this Hanzo. He's got another Dragon Strike up. We saw him take out the Pharmacy earlier. Takes out another duo comp right there. Man's going on.
And now Cohesion has swapped off the Pharah, is trying to match him on this Hanzo. The headshot on the Take Me League is beautiful, coming right out of the teleport and shuts it down. Zay is on a tear.
Yeah, the Supercharger is dropped as well for Dedicated in the background, but nothing really coming of it. Cohesion doing a little bit of work on Hanzo as well. Going to take that Orisa out of the fight. He's coming up for a Dragon Strike. The Meteor Strike from Hopeful will be coming down right on top of the point, but I think that is going to be enough to clean up Task. Ring around the Rosie right now on the Hammond, just trying to stall this payload as long as possible. Stalls long enough for the res to come back as Kalman's up in that front line. He almost takes Jammer out by himself, but it does look like the payload's going to get here.
Yeah, the whole hog is going to be enough to finish it off. He pushes them away from the door, gets the kill onto At and Cersei and Scion. They answer strongly here on Gibraltar. It took them a little while to get underway, but they have gotten through point A. They've got control of the hangar right now, and they're looking to press forward.
I feel like this hangar phase can just go so fast. I feel like sometimes this just ends up into a one fight, and in one fight, it's just over. Let's see if it ends up being that way or not. Great pick onto Reaper. Cowman, though, gonna bring it back, though, even to back out 5v5. The Coalescence battle is out. Dragon Strike comes out once again from Zay. He's just all over the place. At gonna be able to bring up Hopeful, give him a little bit more of a setup here on defense. The landmine's out in kind of an awkward area, kind of up here on the wall, but it's going to be enough to get him a double kill in the background over here, and the defense has slowed him down. They are able to get the big stop.
Right now, the Dedicated are more than willing to take those 1v1 trades at the beginning of a fight because they've got the res.
Yeah.
They've got the ability to bring the numbers back in Cohesion. Gonna go over to the Sombra once again here. It was good on the attack of King's Row. Can it serve them well on Gibraltar?
Looked like Dedicated was going to have a pretty strong split right there. They did a really good job at pinching the team, but it doesn't matter because Scion is just cleaning up right now. Gets the res onto Zay, but they both go down. Mercy and Hanzo both, as the offense just slaughters through him right there. Was any ult popped there at all for Scion? They just mowed through like it was.
I don't believe so. I don't think P-Mail Jellies was on the Lucio previously, so he didn't use the sound barrier. They're on the dive now and making it work.
Yeah. Swapped off onto the Monkey, onto the D.Va. They're not slowing down at all. Cohesion and Take Me League get a kill. The defense is struggling to keep up with this. The hero swaps are just throwing them off. They have no idea what to respond with.
Oh, and you know, this is right here is the result of the patch that we got just a little while ago. It's brought the dive back as a possibility with some buffs to the Winston, and now Scion putting it to good use here on Gibraltar. This is what I was wondering might happen. This is a map where the dive makes a lot of sense, and they are just using it to its fullest extent.
Look at the ults right now, Shy. They're just absolutely going to be on a tear. Jelly's the only one without an ult up, and they've got a couple ready on the side. They're going to use all three of them, actually, on the side of Dedicated, but it doesn't matter. The EMP goes off. The D.Va Bomb comes out, and a triple kill will clear the path for Scion.
Oh, what a combo there. Not only do they get all those kills with the self-destruct, they completely negate both the supercharger, the coalescence, and the mines coming out from the Dedicated.
Yeah, it was a beautiful combo, and they still got ults to spare. They're going to have the Winston ult to smack him off the point. They're going to have the Death Blossom here on Take Me League. Winston will come out. Niche going to start smacking him around right now. 2.5 meters remain. What an amazing time they've made up for after that beginning start. Defense doing a good job at stalling. It hasn't moved yet, but the Death Blossom will come out. A couple kills for Niche, making a kill for Take Me League. Taz trying to delay on the point. The response from Zay, but he gets taken out immediately, and that's going to do it. Sai's going to take it home.
Okay, for the second map in a row, Scion come out on fire on the attack, and they storm through Gibraltar. They finish the map. 144 remaining is quite good on a map like this, on the full escort, especially when you think about they lost the first couple of fights on this map. To turn it around that quickly, it is really, really something.
The second half of the map for Scion went so well. They struggled to get going at the very beginning. They lost, like you said, a couple of fights at the beginning. I think they lost one fight in the hangar area. As soon as they swapped on to the dive comp, there was nothing that Dedicated to do to set up. And at that point, they had ultimates rolling. They were ready to go, and they just smashed through the rest of the way there. But Dedicated was struggling to keep up with the dive offense. I think their only opportunity for time gain here is going to be at the beginning. Dedicated is going to have to come out smoking hot off the gate to keep up with that time.
No, they're going to need an excellent answer here on Gibraltar because they find themselves in a bit of a hole. Now for the first time, this series is starting to feel like that reverse sweep a little bit possible, or at least the starts of it possible here on Gibraltar. If Scion can hold on to the defense, that's where they've struggled so far tonight. It's not been the attacks necessarily; it's been the defense. So I'm not ready to call this just yet, but a great start for Scion.
Yeah, I feel like both teams have been doing so well on offense, and they've just been so strong. This is really this is going to decide very quickly here the turning point of what's going to happen. I think within the first couple of fights, we're gonna know what's coming on here with Scion, as they're setting up here on this high ground. I think they like taking the high ground fight here, Shy, but they're giving up a lot of ground on the payload, just letting it go right now.
No, I think you're ultimately fine with this, but you can't just give up forever. And Zay on the flank now, laying in some arrows, gonna have to back off. Doesn't find anything just yet, and Task has fallen. So even though the payload moves quite a bit, this is going to be okay for the dedicated. They lose Cowman though, and Cohesion falls as well. As soon as I say that, it flips on a dime.
I think the problem was there for sure that Scion got split up. Some of them went down below to stop the payload. Some of them stayed up top, and I mean, Dedicated just took advantage of that. They got the Hopeful was just slaying out. Zay got a couple of easy picks right there onto some separated members, and they separate them, split them up, and wipe.
And now Cohesion making a swap. They're going back to the dive once again. Even the Tracer in play for Take Me League. So an attempt on the defense is going to be to do it without ults.
Yeah, the Dragon Strike will come out. Doesn't get a full knockout with just that, but he will get a pick off. Zay makes it a double. They've responded a little bit. The payload that whole time will just coast in, however. And Dedicated on the offense, looking very good. They clean up that fight. The dive comp was just a little bit too weak. Take Me League got taken out very easily. And they are in super mode, full dive, trying to do this on defense.
And it's, you know, it works for them on the attack, but we'll see if it's the answer they need here on Gibraltar for the defense. They and crew up on the shuttle, trying to find angles for these rockets. He's got another Dragon Strike.
No, he used it, but he got hacked by Cohesion as soon as he used it. So Zay tried to Dragon Strike, and Cohesion with a huge hack right there completely stopped. Cersei gonna drop the supercharger, but there's just not very many over here to take advantage of it. Jammer as well with the Coalescence. The landmines come out from Task as well, so tons of ultimates are put into the fight here for Dedicated, but most of the players still up for Scion, as they're already able to stop this push. So tons of ultimates used there for Dedicated, not a whole lot shown for it.
No, and now they're being forced back a little bit more. Take Me League playing the harasser in the backline. That bomb could be big. Takes down Zay.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a little bit more than that, but I think the Orisa shield saved a couple of them there. Going to pull up Zay immediately, but at that time, Cohesion's going to take out Hopeful. It's back and forth right now. Jelly's going to go ahead and drop the sound. Hopeful gets taken out before he's able to use the Death Blossom as well.
And the Coalescence is going to be enough for them to sustain and to survive through this fight. They will hold on here, and they're doing what they need to. They're bleeding this clock away from the Dedicated after a strong first point.
This is where we saw Scion get caught one time in this fight, but that was 2 fights now, right? In the hangar that they lost, or 1.5 at least, kind of a long extent. Now they're able to set back up, and we see Task is switched off the Hammond onto the Winston as well, so maybe they're kind of thinking about it. A big EMP from Cohesion gets taken out immediately. They're going to have to take advantage of this fast, and not enough kills coming out for Scion off the top of that EMP. They're going to be able to get reset here, trading back and forth. It's a 4v4, as once again, the fight is kind of spread out all over this room.
And the even trades are not what you're looking for when you commit that EMP to the fight. But now things starting to turn their way a little bit. Hopeful isolated from the rest of his team will be taken out. And yet again, Scion just hanging on in these scrappy fights.
Yeah, good surround and conquer there. The fight got a little bit spread out, but the side of the defense on Scion, they kind of backed up towards the doorway a little bit over here towards the checkpoint. And they took that last couple of fights like 4v2 and then to 4. The trades, once again, a little bit now in favor of Scion. Task going to drop the monkey. He's angry. He's swinging around. Death Blossom from Hopeful as well. Once again, they're committing a lot of ultimates with not much to show for it as Cohesion takes Orisa out. And it'll be down to 2 minutes now. Scion stepping up, and they are holding strong on this defense, chasing the Dedicated back to their spawn door.
Well, and there I think you see a Reaper who is used to playing Reaper in the current meta where people don't have the mobility to get away from it, but everyone just leaves him behind as he spins around aimlessly, and so far Cohesion just getting the better end of that matchup right now.
God, I'm a little scared for Scion that they're kind of spread out and overextended here. Task and Hopeful kind of making that known here as they get out a couple kills right there. Jammer going to follow suit as well. So as I kind of fear, they just overextend just a little bit, just get separated just enough, and that might give opportunity now for Dedicated to capture this point, and that's going to add more time on the clock.
So there's 4 alive for the side of Scion. They're going to try to push back in with the sound barrier.
The bomb goes up, but it was up top. It was just in a little bit of an awkward spot. Blizzard comes out. Hopeful going to clear up as well on the Doomfist. Gets 3. They are going to... It was a good try and a good hold from Scion in that hangar area, but they are officially going to make it to this 3rd and final leg.
And they commit so hard to try and get the stop there. The sound barrier, the bomb, the Death Blossom for Cohesion as well. He will make a swap to the Mei towards the end of this map, so no real harm done, I suppose. But that was expensive.
Yeah, it was a little bit unfortunate too. Kalman on the D.Va kind of threw the bomb up top on the D.Va suit, and it didn't really take advantage of how it should. Task though, dropping the landmines, getting a double kill. The door has been opened. Make it 3. They just keep walking right in as the whole team of Scion has been cleared out. They are going to have one more fight now. The timers have lined back up, so all they have to do is stall. If they could stall for even 90 seconds here, it would be absolutely huge. But they're getting picked off one by one as they're coming out of here. Hopeful just making it look easy, lining them up, fish in a barrel. They cannot find their foot.
And now this is going to be desperate. They need some kills from Cohesion on the Doomfist, and it's not going to happen.
Nope. Kalman back on the hog, but he gets pushed away. Great environmental knockback there, keeping him safe. And they're about 13 seconds behind, but after a big hold in the hangar from Scion, Dedicated steps up and gets all the way to that last checkpoint. That 3rd leg was smooth.
Yeah, that really should have been a much slower time for the Dedicated at the tail end there. Scion, they flow out of the spawn one by one rather than grouping up as they need to try to make a stop towards the end. And all the while they're dying, no one is stalling the cart. That easily should, like, even in the worst case scenario, I think that should have been another 30 seconds gone for the Dedicated and a bigger advantage for Scion. As it stands now, we're essentially even when it comes to time.
Pretty much. This is less than one team fight. I mean, 13 seconds is nothing. Maybe a stagger, that's the difference. It's a one-man stagger, 13-second difference. It's not even a full team fight. And we'll see. Oh, we finally get to see it, Shy. Predictions have rang true. Look how smart of casters we are, Shy. Look at us. We know what we're talking about.
This one's all you. The Bastion coming out for Take Me League. You know, when you've only got a minute and a half to hold here, it's a good call. They're gonna set him up inside the
spot.
It's a very defensible spot, and that's what the idea is here. You're never gonna be able to move the payload because he's right there. But
look, they read it immediately.
They know. Dedicated.
They showed it. They saw him through the door. They read it. Niche is going to get the first pick off, but Hopeful going to be there to take out Cohesion. Bastion going to be able to do a little work here, but they have them pinned inside this. It doesn't matter. Bastion's too strong. Takes out Cersei and At as well, and that should allow them to maybe stagger out this payload a little bit more and clean it up. They did so. Dedicated saw him. They knew. They pinched him.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you can't kill the Bastion. He's just going to tear through you, and that's exactly what he's doing. They get halted into the free fire from Take Me Leak. He's almost got that tank mode ready to go.
Cohesion is chasing the Doomfist down in the background. Finally gets the kill out with Kalman on the D.Va. Took Hopeful down all the way to about 2% life, and then finally finishes them off. The payload is just creeping forward here during this whole... And there's a couple pickoffs from Task, and that is going to speed up the offense greatly as the rest of the defensive wall will fold here. Full team clear. Got one more fight left before the overtimer starts ticking.
Okay, but by holding that far forward, now Scion, they can go set up on the high ground with this defense. They can go put the Bastion up above everybody and just have him going to town. They're going to have the Supercharger, the Amp Matrix as well.
That was a huge pick. Task overcommitted. He was in there with Hopeful. They were trying to counter exactly what you were saying, Shy. They went up high to try to counter, and Task overcommitted just a little bit, but it doesn't matter because Zay on the Mei is cleaning up. D.Va Bomb will go out to stall just a little bit longer. 2 meters to go. Overtimer is going. It is all or nothing for the side of the Scion defense, and they are going to fall apart. It allows them to capture that point, and they are going to move on through this doorway.
Okay, but I do like the way Scion has approached this so far, and the fact that they are running the Sombra means that they've got a trump card in their back pocket. They've got this EMP that's gonna be ready for the next fight as soon as Cohesion lays in a little bit more damage, or maybe just waits a few seconds. And that could be what ends this push.
Yep, EMP off. It will pop maybe a little bit early, however, though, as Cohesion almost goes down right there. There's no Death Blossom or anything to follow up. It doesn't matter. The double kill will come out for the side of Scion, and they're going to clean up the rest of them. They should be able to clean this up. And just a little bit into Hangar. Shy, you called it. The EMP opened that fight up, and Scion will be able to...
Yeah, so, I mean, that's just a smart way to approach a defense like this. You go with the Bastion, and if there's no answer from it for Scion, then you've just done an incredible job. Like, if the dedicated can't stop it, then you get a full hold. You've basically just won yourself the map. But worst case scenario, you give up point A, you build up the EMP, and then you win the fight. So like, I really like what they did there, and it doesn't get them the full hold, but it's given them a very doable attack here.
Yeah, they know where they need to get to now. They got a minute 44. They got to get just past that check. Definitely doable. I still think, I wouldn't call it a full mistake, but I think they should have hidden a little bit better in that room. I think if the dedicated didn't know that they were in there, that first fight would have gone more in favor of Scion. I think that they popped their shields a little bit early. The dedicated looked through the walls. They looked through the doors. They knew they were there, and they appropriately attacked it. They split around, and they got them trapped inside that room. And even though they stalled for 40 seconds or so, ultimately they did lose that first fight. So I like the Bastion. I like seeing it. I'm a fan, but just didn't full work out there as the EMP Sombra had to back him up.
Okay, so we're just going back to 2017 right now for the side of Scion. At least it looked like it for a second. They had the Genji in the lineup. I haven't seen that name in quite a while, but it will be the Hanzo eventually. The other Shimada for Cohesion, and the double sniper setup takes out Hopeful.
Yeah, Hopeful will go down. Take Me League was taking a lot of damage in the background. Still no picks coming out from the Widow quite yet. A little bit of damage has been reined in, but not as much as they've been looking for. Take Me League is trying to take that Mercy out of the... We'll take out Zay, however, though, so there's the shots that they were looking for. The door is open now, and this payload is moving very quickly, much faster than we saw the dedicated come out of the first opening door.
Indeed, and they're trying to press this advantage even further right now. Cohesion having to juke a little bit. Hopeful and Task on the chase, and they will take him down.
Snitch able to pick up one on Winston. Supreme already has the Coalescence, but Task already has the landmines up as well. Will drop him. Zay as well has the Dragon Strike. We're looking for a pickup, and Hopeful will take the Widow out of the fight. Dragon Strike will be off, picks up a kill onto PMA Jellies, and that should slow down the offense for at least a few moments of breath.
Yes, and not much, not a whole lot here, because we are down to the last fight. 20 seconds remain. This is it for Scion. You've got to win this fight. You've got to push this payload, or your tournament life is over. Losing Supreme, that is a disaster. The Moira not gonna really be in the thick of the fight here.
8 seconds remaining. Jammer and Zay both get a couple of pickoffs onto the squishy dive comp back here with the Lucio. Cohesion goes down as well. I don't see it ending well for Scion. They're not even on the point, and that'll do it. The dedicated gaming, a close but definitive 3-0 sweep.
And they prove to me that they are the best team that we've got in this tournament right now, and they'll have another opportunity to prove it in the grand finals. For Scion, though, you will be dropping down to that lower bracket. Old man strength is waiting, and boy, is that gonna be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a really good one. I think that will be a pretty tough fight from what we've seen for Old Man Strength. I think we've seen Scion has just really come out and played exquisitely in a lot of their matches that we've gotten to see them in. I also am curious and am kind of excited to watch, as unfortunately I won't be casting it, but the next game on the Losers Bracket Finals, if Scion is able to take it and they come back for a rematch, and if they come back for a rematch with their full lineup, if that's going to make a difference, if that'll change anything. So very curious to see how the next 2 matches will go here in the All-Star bracket.
Yeah, we're down to the wire at this point. Just 2 left 3 teams vying for the championship here. We know that the Dedicated are going to be one of those teams. We'll find out pretty soon in the next week who's going to be going up against them. Either way, it's going to be a rematch of an earlier series in the tournament. No, whether Old Man Strength or Scion come away with the victory there. So just a fantastic opportunity to see these teams finish off what has been an incredible tournament so far.
Yeah, it has been extremely good. I've been super excited. I know this is going to be my last match getting to cast in the All-Star Brawl. Are you doing the other 2 matches at all, Shy? Are you?
No. This will be it for me as well. We are done for this tournament. But it's been an absolute pleasure. I mean, we've gotten to cast together several times, Twess, and it's been a delight each and every time. Tonight was no exception. We got 2 series that while they both wind up being 3-0s,
yeah,
do not feel that way in the slightest. These teams were evenly matched across the board, and I think it shows that the differences are just so minute that it still comes away with a 3-0. It doesn't feel quite right, but I gotta say, no team has anything to kind of be ashamed of, given the performances we saw.
Right. And I mean, Scion, it's a double elimination bracket, right? They went through the whole bracket and haven't dropped a match. This is the first match they've dropped. They've got another chance to come back and maybe try to take the throne away from Dedicated. They're going to have to go through Old Man Strength first. And as we talked about a little bit, I feel like Old Man Strength has been improving every match that I've watched them in. So I think that'll be a good one. Also, Sion's going to have their work cut out for them. They got to go through Old Man Strength and then try to come back for the rematch. And if Old Man Strength takes it, they're going to get back into the winner's bracket again, and they're going to have to go up against Dedicated, and that will be a show as well. So 3 great teams left. Can't wait to see what happens. I'm going to be tuning in as a spectator, just like you guys all at home, and it'll be a great one to watch. So,
the culmination of this event is going to feel really good, and I cannot wait to see who's going to come out on top. The whole event has been incredibly entertaining. A lot of new teams, at least for me, including the Dedicated. That was a team that was not on my radar until this tournament started, and they have come out and they have answered every single call at this point. Just every match has been so impressive from them, and they have deserved their spot in the grand finals.
Yep, I agree. And they'll be going into it. So last thing to kind of start wrapping up here for this evening, Shy, we've got our MVP Bowl, viewer MVP, and it's an interesting one. We got 1 for each team. They're tied up right now. We got 1 on the side of Dedicated Gaming is hopeful on that Flex DPS, playing that Doomfist most of the night. And then from Scion Esports, we got a tied as well. Niche on that main tank coming out from the Orisa. Both of them getting the viewer MVP, tying it up. So congrats to both you guys for winning that viewer MVP for this evening on Star Esports.
Fantastic stuff that we saw here tonight from both teams. And
as I say it, Niche pulled ahead by 1. Niche pulled ahead, so Niche taking it officially. It was tied until I started speaking and somebody went down there.
Okay, there we go. Niche gonna come away with the props here tonight, and Dedicated gets the win though, so I think hopeful will be not too upset by this one. So congratulations to Niche, and thank you for everyone who tuned in here tonight. It's been a pleasure bringing you these games throughout the tournament. This is the end for Twess and I, but we've had an absolute blast, and we cannot wait to see you guys again at the next All-Star Brawl.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Be sure, if you guys are viewing, to check out all their social media. Go check out their Twitter, where they post all the matches. Go check out their YouTube, where they got all the VODs on there. And if you want to come in and play, make sure you go and check out their Discord as well. Star Esports Live and the Star Esports Organization, a Tier 3 Overwatch community. It's been awesome. Thank you. And I'm going to give my personal shout-outs, as I always try to remember. Thank you to the production crew and the team organization crew in the background, doing all the legwork underneath. Shy, we'd come out here and just hang out and watch and talk about Overwatch, and it's a blast. A lot of work goes on behind the scenes, so thank you to those of you that put that together. You guys, awesome.
Absolutely. So once again, thank you all for joining us tonight, and we'll see you the next time that the All-Star Brawl returns in a couple days.